What's going on? How you doing? So the Myles Garrett, Mason Rudolph situation took another turn. So Myles Garrett said that Mason Rudolph said the N word. And the NFL is running around saying that it was no incidents found with that. Are they mic'd up to know? And why is Mason Rudolph apologizing for the incident at towards the end? Because usually, if you're a victim, you don't say nothing. You say, "I'm sorry, my bad," and I'm done with it. Why was Myles Garrett just not coming to saying this? And usually, if something is uttered, you'd say it off the jump, and it would justify the whole actions. There is a lot going on with this story. Would I be surprised if Mason Rudolph said it? No, not at all. Because thinking back to Riley Cooper, he said it for the Philadelphia Eagles. Nothing happened out of that. The racist nature of the NFL against Colin Kaepernick tells me if a black quarterback takes a knee and he hasn't broken any laws and what have you, and as far as I'm concerned, I will give Michael Bennett his due. Obviously, Colin Kaepernick's teammate Ed Reed, much respect for Ed Reed in Carolina. And Kenny Stills, I give the cat some due. But a lot of these brothers in the NFL got soft on Cap. And I understand paychecks and all that. However, if your skill set is what it is, you can rep. And I ain't seen too many people running behind Cap for support on the real. Because they know the plantation owners ain't going to go for it. So Mason Randolph did say this to Myles Garrett. And I'm not justifying Myles Garrett attacking him per se, but they both were equally guilty. And Mason Randolph should have gotten at least a couple games suspension because he did instigate. He was kicking the man privately and he did tug at him. So he ain't scot-free clean. However, I can believe stuff being said for the simple fact the NFL, the way they treat Kaepernick and their racial good old boy network with what Trump said and how he instigated and how they had to intervene and how there's no black ownership, there's no black commissioner, there's some black head coaches, very few black GMs. So, and they have the Rooney Rule where they talk about hiring a black head coach. They don't do near enough to have 75% African American players. It looks like a plantation. It's ran like a plantation and it acts like a plantation. So if it looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and walks like a duck. So we will never know all went down, but there was more to it than that. However, the NFL exactly ain't got a chance to come out and say someone said someone didn't because their track record with African Americans when it comes to the business side, and I'm not talking about playing on the plantation, I'm talking about running and calling shots, ain't exactly the best. So we'll never know the full gist of it, but Mason Rudolph's behind should have got at least a couple games because he did take part in doing something to instigate situations. He did take part, and he ain't no innocent victim. And I'm not letting Myles Garrett off the hook with everything, but there's some smoke, there's some fire, and there's fumes, and there's a blaze, and it's left a burnt trail. We just don't know the whole gist of it. But the NFL need to stop the shucking and jiving because they haven't done right by African American players in the big picture. So we don't know. Give me your thoughts, your takes. Feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and the bell rings in the video. You have a good day.